So how do we respond to a changing world? I think Henry just showed us, how missions happens in today's world. How do we see every nation, every tongue, every tribe in our midst? And one of the responses in the Singapore context is the fact that we saw the nations coming to us in the number of migrants that are in Singapore. About a fifth or quarter of our population are non-Singaporeans, and they come from places like Bangladesh, all the different areas in Bangladesh, from the entire country, different villages, and from China, different provinces, the entire China, from north, south, east, west, they all come as low-wage workers, and also from India. So with all these migrants coming, congregating, how do we respond? I think Malaysia, we have the same situation with refugees and the same opportunities. And so I'm just going to present very quickly a little response that we've done. So HealthServe is an initiative from largely the Christian Medical Dental Fellowship doctors, and it started with about 10 years ago. And also in Singapore, where you are now, and the world, with all the, I think it's okay. And with the world coming to Singapore, with all different nationalities, we even have Americans and North Koreans now in Singapore. So, so how do we respond to that, isn't it? Next slide. Yeah, and I showed you the pictures of the buildings, these nice roads that we have, this road leading to the airport. Who are doing all this work? And in Singapore, unfortunately, the work is not done by Singaporeans, it's done by the Bangladeshis. And we unfortunately treat them as commodity. You come, do a service, and you go. But amongst us, how do we be attentively present to those around us, those at the margins? And I think the Christian church has a role to do that. And as medical professionals, we need to serve them, especially when they come to our clinics or when they're injured. And that's where I think God has given us a fantastic opportunity. Next. Now, I'm going to show you a video of the typical migrant we see, and this is their story.
Since the 1990s, 50,000 Bangladeshi workers have come to Singapore yearly in hope to break free from poverty and to provide a better life for their loved ones. On average, agents charge $8,000 to $10,000 per worker, equivalent to 15 months of the average salary. We talked to a few of them to find out more about their lives, and this is their story.
My name is Nozrul Islam. My salary $18 only. Every day my gas is $18.
Every day working.
Okay. So 7 days a week work, 1 day work, 1 week work, 7 days.
Yes.
So if you earn about 551 month, you send back 400, you only got $150 for yourself. Right? Every time you come, you pay agent fee.
Yeah, every time I come in, agent money. I need to agent money.
What time, how much?
Singapore dollar, 4,000, sometimes 8,000, sometimes 5,000, like that. Yeah, more money.
Your room, your bed, right? How many levels?
I 3 levels.
Your bed 3 levels.
Yeah. 3 level. I sleeping in the second.
One room, how many people?
This room sometimes 6, sometimes more people than 8.
I accident the 22 November. The company is working time. Unfortunately, these are my the machine downside. Machine dropped.
Last August 22, I get to accident. My leg bone crack. Yeah, my bone crack. Then I go to the hospital. Then my company actually not happy. Then I taking care. I sleep also problem because I cannot do anything. Sometimes somebody is calling me also problem.
So now you no money, now you no job. Then your wife, your house money how? Get from where?
Not very hard for her.
Very hard.
Yes.
So your family in Bangladesh money now?
They don't have money now. I cannot give them money now. Because now I injured, I cannot work it. My father told that he died already. So I cannot
Cannot apply.
I cannot.
So now, you cannot do anything. No money.
I never think in my life now. I thinking only my children future. Children, yeah. So until die before also I want to try how do I make my children future.
Your children, it's like your
I hope God help me can. God help me can. Children, I still have this world. I die before I see my children doing very good job and service very good work. I happy can die, no problem. Because my life very difficult. My father died that time my age 4. Sometimes we don't have pension also. I thinking I just want to buy, I cannot buy because who give money? I thinking I going to study school. Who give money? I cannot. That's why my life very difficult. I mean hard job also must I do for my children. Yes. I doing like that hard job, my life like that. I don't want to my children life like that. Me self. I don't want like that. That's why I want to must work in the Singapore or in the Bangladesh, any place. I know free jalan-jalan makan no. Must I work? Yeah, must work for my children. I make my children future. God help me, I can.
God take care of them.
We can come in as Christians. And you know, the Bangladeshis are the worst of among all the ethnic groups that are serving and are working in Singapore. And I know of one chap who actually committed suicide, and young 17-year-old Bangladeshi came in, reported age was 20, and had just come from Bangladesh, and you know, he was the oldest in the family, oldest young man, brightest young man. In the Bangladeshi culture, they send their brightest to Singapore or to countries to work. Unlike China, in China, usually the head of the household, the father, will come. So the Chinese workers are generally older. But in Bangladesh, the young ones. So this young man came, family sold everything to send him to Singapore. And he came thinking he'd get very good work, but he was doing a very, very low-wage job. And he needed to make extra money. He went to clean dishes at a hawker center. And to do that, it was illegal because he was only supposed to do construction. And so what happened was he then found this job washing dishes, and this guy who employed him wanted his work permit from him as a guarantee. So he gave it to him. Now, unfortunately, 3 months after 3 months, his own company said, "Can you show me your work permit? Because I needed some. We need to do some documentation." He couldn't produce it, and because of that, they threatened him and said, "You don't give me your work permit, I'm going to send you back." That's a no. He cannot go back. They have no money. They're all in debt. So for 3 days, he was so depressed. He was a 7-year-old kid, right? Worried, depressed, fear, all the things we talked about today, for external factors. And he kept himself to the room for 3 days. And I met his friends, I know his friends, and they told me that for 3 days, he was just locked up. He refused to go to work. He even refused to go to work because it's all messed up in his mind. And the third day he came, they came back from work and they found him hung in a room. He had used his sarong, his lungi, to the fire pipes up there, and he killed himself. The irony was that at the same time, the same day he killed himself, I was actually in Jakarta, I think a place called Sentu, doing a presentation on migrant work at a big mission conference. And this is the reality of people who are lost, people who need help, people are crying out, and we're all part of it, and being in society, living in the world. So this is the way, I think, one way that we see that Christian medical professionals can serve So if you see migrant workers, you see a worker, many of them with all this psychosocial, spiritual, and all these struggles, I think we really can sit down, talk to them, see them as people made in the image of God, and we need to bring them, we're on a mission to reconcile broken men back to God, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, next. So I think just skip that. Migrant workers, yeah. You can ask me more after this, yeah, next. Working conditions, living conditions, yeah. I think maybe we can skip this video. It's another video about the working conditions. Yeah. So in response, we had gathered together. We've got 3 clinics, medical clinics. We've got 3 dental clinics also, and medical and social assistance and services. And one of the things that we found most important really is counselling, and they just want a friend. I think they just want a friend, and very often. One of the problems we have with our volunteers is that they just want to do the stuff, treat the headache, and they are not interested in the rest of it. I mean, as doctors or as nurses, we sometimes do that, isn't it? Yeah. So I think it's really good to slow down and take a 2-hour consult. Yeah. Next. Okay, so our vision is a society where every migrant worker lives a life of dignity, and true dignity and identity can only be found in Christ. So I think, really this little story is about how to encourage us to look at different models. I think that's appropriate in our context when we see need, when we see a need out there. Because if we love God, we need to love our neighbor. In this case, our neighbor, the Bangladeshi or the Chinese migrant. Thank you so much.